In this case, we're going to add wax on the labial. So how to add the wax and fuse it with the old wax? I flipped this and added the wax while I was on the table to preserve the occlusal table plane, okay? But I have some spaces. So how am I going to fuse this? I'm going to heat my hot plate using the torch. Once it's warm enough, I'm going to lean on the acrylic and not touch the anterior labial. And I'm going to use any wax that drips from the hot plate and fill in the spaces on the occlusal table. So once more, I'm leaning on the acrylic to melt down the addition in the upper part. I'm using any molten wax dripping to fill in the spaces, and then I reheat it. I'm not using a Bunsen burner. We don't have this in our clinic here on this side. So I'm using only the torch. So once more, heating, leaning on the acrylic, okay? If I lean on the labial, what will happen that I'll lose the wax that I added. And that's what the reason why your added wax did not appear correctly. The second thing I'm going to rely on, so I added wax all to the occlusal table. Now all of the empty spaces are filled in, okay? The second area that I'm going to fuse, so what happens when I'm leaning on the acrylic? The excess over the acrylic goes away, okay? So I have this now free to go. I also need to fuse the wax with the old wax rim here. So how do I do that? While the warm hot plate is there, I'm going to melt down buccally, okay? And now it's fused. Any empty spaces once more, any dripping wax, I use it to fill in spaces. I'm going to fuse this buccal here. And I'm going to use the molten wax to fill in any empty bubbles or spaces. And to put the occlusal table back, I'm going to just touch this once, twice, or 3 times and look at it. So I could see that there are no bubbles around. Everything is fused. I'm going to now the final time, nothing to fill in. That means I'm ready to press it on a cold surface, okay? So I pressed it on cold surface, now it's back flat. See how it's fused now? Now, I fused it, but it's not straight. The anterior addition should be straight, running down from the base plate to the addition. So how do I do that? While the hot plate is hot, okay, I'm going to put it vertically up, and I'm going to touch by this, okay? I'm leaning on the acrylic, not touching the label, so I'm removing the bulges. Where is it working now? It's working on the middle part. It's removing the bulges in the middle, straightening the wax up. I keep leaning on the acrylic and going down and rotating until the plate begins to touch the occlusal table. This is when I stop. So what happened to my addition now? Now it's not bulging in the middle and it's almost flat on all sides. I've not finished yet, so I'm going just to reheat the hot plate. It's cooled down. I'm going to repeat. So now it's hot back. Once more, I'm going to put my hot plate. I'm leaning on the acrylic. The acrylic is hitting the hot plate. And I'm going around, melting the wax in between until I begin touching the occlusal table. If I touch the occlusal table, I stop melting on the side, okay? Now it's fused. Now notice when I rotate this, wherever I'm rotating, I have a straight line in between. So this is fused occlusally. It's fused buccally, it's fused with the upper acrylic, and it's straight, running down from the acrylic down to the ridge. And this makes the square shape. If I don't have this angle, when I want to do the occlusal registration of the lower, for example, notice the difference between these two. This is an incorrectly made, this is correctly made. If when this I have the correct angle, acute angle, and this is rounded. When I'm working like this, I could not see them well. But if this was straight, I could totally know where is my position and exactly verify it. So the angle, when you fuse the new wax to the old wax, you should have this angle, this sharp angle between two planes, a plane on the side and the occlusal plane.